All right, and we're there.
Oh my goodness. It's another. What is today? Today's Monday. Oh, it's Monday. Jesus, this has gotten. I think this might have been the longest weekend longest week in general I've had, and not in a good way.
Oh my god. So let's see. Yeah. Good morning, everyone.
Oh, at least somebody's having a good morning. We'll try.
I'm making this up.
Yeah.
I'm making it up as I go along. December 26th, 2022.
Ew.
Which means we are now officially, 5 days from 2023?
Oh my goodness. So we can set the clock and start all over again.
Does it work that way?
I don't know.
Are you ready for this?
Absolutely not, but go ahead.
Hit
it.
The views and opinions expressed within the video content found on the Indie Comics Network are those of the speakers and do not necessarily reflect the views or positions of the Indie Comics Network or its sponsors.
Monty Moore. I'm a 30-year comics veteran in comics, games, and movies, and you've been watching one of my absolute favorite podcasts, Catch the Craze.
You are watching Catch the Craze.
What am I listening to?
And you're listening to Catch the Craze.
Where are all the indies at?
A Catch the Craze podcast.
What are you watching?
I'm watching Catch the Craze.
What are you going to do?
Subscribe now to Catch the Craze, the #1 show online for independent.
Have you subscribed to?
If you are an independent, catch the craze! Making moves on your own, catch the craze! On your grind in the streets, catch the craze! Join the movement, catch the craze!
Yeah, catch it! Catch it! Oh my god, I lost it. There we go. All right, here we are.
Hello. Good morning, everybody. Good morning, and welcome to another edition of the Rage Into the Vlogs show. And I really do hope you're having a better day than I am. I mean, for those of you keeping track, it is now day 8 of my wonky leg adventures. But we're definitely at the butt end of it, which means that my butt has stopped hurting. Actually, it's my back, but
Close enough.
Right now, it's like I'm in a Goldilocks phase where it's like, every chair, like, this chair is too soft. This chair is too hard. This chair is too tall.
This chair's just right.
Now it's just finding that chair that I can, because, it's like, look, this was a week of a vacation that I wasn't expecting on taking from all the work that I have to do. I do not recommend taking a vacation like this.
2 stars.
Yeah, 2 stars. That's 0 stars. 0 stars. But it just goes to show you how sometimes it is good to just slow down a bit and take your time with things instead of like trying to rush to the end of the year, trying to get stuff done at the end of the year. When in the end, and now that I'm looking back on it, it's like, my schedule's okay. It's like, oh, I'm fine. I'm good. Wish my leg didn't hurt, but hey, can't have everything. But enough about that stuff. So hello everybody. So who's joining us in the chat today?
So far we've got Alison, Jody McPhee, and Ephraim. Hello, good morning.
And yes, I see you. You very tired 5 people next to the giant eyeball on my screen. Joining us from regions beyond. And if you're joining us from Facebook, if you're joining us from Twitter, come on over to YouTube. Join the sexy people in the chat. It's like it's a lot easier for us to conversate. Have conversation. Is conversate a real word? I don't know. I think it is. Is it? Conversate.
It works.
And we're okay. We're good. We're good.
I'm gonna call it a word.
Right,
Without my
okay, it
Scrabble
is-
dictionary.
That's true, right? How many
Works.
points in Scrabble, right? So you can come on over to YouTube, join the sexy people in the chat, and don't forget to hit the like, subscribe, and the notification bell so you get notified whenever we go live here on the Indie Comics Network. So for, I guess, an actual introduction, hello everybody. My name is Daphne Lage, and I'm a cartoonist, illustrator, and comic book artist from New York. I have been self-publishing comics since 1992, and I am known for the furry fantasy adventure Tall Tales, which returns to Kickstarter in early 2023. So keep an eye out for that. And I am also known for my medieval fantasy soap opera drama Eagle Raven, Heir of the First Unicorn, which I am in preparation of hopefully receiving the books this week, so I can start sending stuff out at least in the first week of 2023, which yes, I am very looking forward to getting that done as well. But in the meantime, you can read both my comics online at Tall Tales, TAILS online.com, and eagleworks.com, EGOWORKS, where you can check out all my videos on how I make my comics here on YouTube at my channel at Daphne Lage, Lage Art, which also simulcasts through the Indie Comics Network. And now to tell us more about that is, ta-da! Who's that?
Hey, I'm Nita Lanning. I'm a writer, vlogger from Southeast Louisiana, and I am the producer of the Indie Comics Network on YouTube and Indie Comics Network After Dark on YouTube as well.
Oh yes, we're going to finally do a House of Bob straight from there. Oh yeah, I guess we should remind everybody, because now it's like we are only like days away, from the monthly House of Bob show. So yes, we will be running a House of Bob show on December 31st, so that you too can start your new year on the right foot. So join us this Saturday at 8 p.m. to 10 p.m. Eastern, where we will have our monthly adults only live stream, where I will be drawing some naughty work for you, while me and Nita have a conversation about other naughty topics. That's
Educationally naughty.
Yes, educationally naughty. I guess conversations that is a little too much for the day crowd. So yes, make sure to join us for that. All the links are in the show notes below. So how was your Christmas? Yeah, how was your Christmas?
It was awesome. It was awesome and terrible at the same time. I
Well.
hate going and visiting people. That part sucks. But I love getting edibles for Christmas.
Oh, there
And,
you go.
Like,
Just
everybody hooks
remember,
me up,
Nita,
and it's like,
1/4, not 4. 1/4.
it was one time, Daphne. One time.
Even God was like going, "What the heck, Nita?" It says here 1/4.
He was. I was talking to him. It's like, bruh, is this ever gonna let up?
All right. Yeah. So what other goodies did you get? Did you
No, I don't
socks?
know. For
Did
me,
you get socks?
no, but I did get a pair of slippers, which is
Oh, that's
really
good.
nice, and I'm wearing them right now because I'm not wearing any pants, and my feet
Oh
are
well,
cold.
that's true. We don't need to.
But anyway, no, it was good, because it was like the past couple of years have been kind of rough financially, but all the kids got, I think, just enough to make them. I don't want to sound like my kids would be selfish or whatever, but for them it was kind of a low tier Christmas, but they
Right.
were all very appreciative, and that warmed me up
Right.
a lot.
Oh, that's good. That's
Like it was a good Christmas. They all seemed happy. We had lots and lots of fucking food, and
Right.
my kitchen's still feeling it. So
well, yeah, that's
I gained 45 pounds in 2 days. And
well, it's it's the holidays, and then we get to start all over again, right? Are you going to try that getting off of sugar again, or?
of course I am.
Yeah.
Yes, because let me tell you something, Daphne. And I know it, and I still couldn't stop myself.
Right.
Like, as soon as I started eating sugar again, that inflammation all came back.
Right.
And it's like I'm waking up and I'm like, and I was jumping out of bed.
Right.
By 2 weeks in.
Right.
But I just kept eating them damn Oreo balls.
I know it's hard. It really is hard. You know. Oh, also, just a throwback from Friday, where yes, it was the all fucked up math episode of the show. Right. Yeah. So I just wanted to look at everybody getting all this cool stuff, PJs and manga, and it's like, yeah, I'm a sock person myself. I mean, it's like I'm always but it depends on the socks nowadays. I like the tall socks, so not so much the ankle ones, because they
it's like the old school athletic socks with the stripes, Daphne.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. But yeah, so just to go back to Friday's episode where I was doing my my completely upside down math. I just wanted to clarify something because some people did bring up some things about my faulty math, which I am completely sure it was. Because like I said, it was extremely superficial. But you see, the whole point of that exercise was not to say that TNA books don't make money. That was not at all.
No, but they don't dominate the fucking market.
Right. That was not at all the conversation that we were having. I mean, it was literally, I just did that literally just to prove the point that it's not as big of a market share as I guess a lot of people have this idea that it is. Now the thing is, though, is it a small market share that makes a lot of money? I am sure
yeah,
it is.
Absolutely.
I'm sure, like, if I added up that, if I ran the numbers on that 5%, not counting Polito, which doesn't count Polito, by the way, that, yeah, it's a significant amount of money that those types of books make. But like I said, that wasn't the point that I was trying to, that I was doing all that for on Friday. Like I said, it was just to show that it's not as big of a market share as people, because you would talk to some people and you would think that it sounds like
that's all there is.
Like 99%.
Kickstarter is a porn site, period.
You know what? That's like 99%, TNA books. And if you don't do a TNA books, you can't compete. And that's not at all what I was trying to say at all. It's like, I just wanted to just say that it's like, yeah, it's not as big of an issue as it's not as big. It's an overrepresented genre. Yes. That's all I wanted to prove. Now, like I said, but it does make money. Let's just say that. It's like those types of books do make money.
Oh, nobody was going to deny that they make money.
Right.
Shit, I give them money.
Right. Right. Yeah, we've bought those types of books before. So, but here's the thing. So, because like I was talking, to JD about it a little bit more, and and I said that the thing that I got out of it was that that if you're going to make comics, you kind of have to decide like what it is you're going to be doing. It's like, are you just making comics to make money, or are you making comics to tell a story and this, that, and the other thing? And then it's like JD jumped in. It's like, no, that's wrong. And I go, what do you mean? And he goes, everybody who does comics wants to make money at it. And so it's like, I kind of had to stop there.
You do, but it's like, okay, at what cost?
I mean, right. Because it's like, because I had said, but it's like, there's so much easier ways to make money. And he said, no, people want to make, it's like, what it is that people go into comics to make money.
What?
Because, yeah, I know, right? That's my surprise. Then he goes, people come into comics because they want to make money, but they still want to be like somewhat creative about it, and it's like, and it's like, well, I'm not quite sure about that either sometimes. I mean, it's like, I know that there's a lot of people who treat comics as just a stepping stone to, to like, to larger deals or whatnot. I don't think those people are really interested in the creative side of comics. But here's the thing, though. It's like,
until it can get them where they want to be,
right?
Or as long as it's getting
right,
them
and then it's
where
like
they
the second that they've reached the point that they were looking for, they never do another comic again.
right.
So yeah, I don't think that it's it's like, let's. And what's funny is that he always chastises me for talking in absolutes. Like everybody, but here he was saying everybody just wants to make money on comics.
Well, you want to make money doing what you love, right?
Right, yeah. But you see, but I think that's what makes both our shows, this show and JD's show on Sunday, different from each other. Because here, I kind of think that we focus a lot more on like kind of like the creative side of it. People's, it's like, why are you doing this? And it's like, what are your inspirations and this, that, and the other thing. Well, on JD's show is more business oriented. Like he wants to know, it's like, what did you do to get to the next level? It's like, how do you raise funds, faster? Or it's like, or that type of thing, that he's more like the business side of it. And I'm just more of the, kind of like, what's your inspiration? What, talking to the muses type of thing. So it was just an odd, I guess, like segue. Because I don't know. It's like just to say that no, everybody just the comics stuff is referencing everyone in comics wants to make money, but you're challenging is that it's not all as that not all is in for the long haul as opposed to fast grabs and pitches for other media. Well, right, yeah, that's kind of how I like to look at it. It's like that. I really would like to think that most people who come into comics, there's a certain love for the medium there. I would like to think that, I mean, it's like, granted, I've always said that I'm kind of like in a unique position where it's like, it's like, right. It really is. Yeah, that really is the difference. It's like going on watching JD's shows, like going to a panel at a convention where it's just, just that. And here, we're just having a conversation, right? I like that. I like that analogy. Because like the last Eagle Raven campaign made like 5 something. I don't remember off the top of my head. Would I have liked to have made more money? Absolutely. But the thing is, though, if I didn't, okay, it's like I really wanted this campaign to make $10,000. It didn't. But that doesn't mean issue 6 isn't coming out. So it's like, or 7 or 8. It's like okay, yeah, sure, I'd like to make more money, but at the same time, I don't think that it's not indicative of whether I get the work done or not. You know what I mean? So it's like, there's a lot of creators in the chat. It's like, is this something that resonates? I mean, it's like, is it really about just the money in the end? Or it's like, is there something deeper? I mean, I don't know. It was just kind of, I guess just like a little thought that kind of like stuck in my head, because I still feel that if you're going to do comics, if you can really decide, if you can actually decide why you're doing it, why you're doing this, and what your intended goal is for it, that you'll have an easier time planning than if you just go, it's like, I don't know what I'm doing, but it's like, I just want to make money at this. Like I said, I just think there's just easier ways to make money. But
because I haven't made any money yet, which is not true, because I've earned a lot of money doing edits and promotional stuff and everything, but I put it right back into promoting. Like it just, there's no, I'm not in the red, but I'm not in the black either.
Right. Yeah, it's kind of like that. Yeah. Yeah, it's like you're just writing that line until it decides
barely paying for itself.
Right. You know. I mean, it's yeah, it was just kind of like I don't know.
Trying to start a fight in the chat.
Oh
today, by the
no.
way.
Writing novels and knowing what you're writing about. Yeah, I'd say for me it's legacy. What will last or can be passed down beyond me. Money will come and go, but the IP will always be there. I mean, yeah, I mean, sure. You know what, Patrick? No. It's fine. I think it's a legit question. No, Patrick is fine. Patrick is fine. I had mentioned before that I had wanted to talk about, like AI on House of Bob, but after like really ruminating on it, I decided that there's really nothing to talk about, to tell you the truth. Because it's like, not to go into too deep of a conversation about it, but the thing is, though, it's like as it stands right now, there's only one question that needs to be discussed, and it's not us that needs to discuss it. It's actually the people who are running these companies, and the question is the fundamental question of Stable Diffusion and all the other apps out there. Do you believe that corporations should be allowed to use and profit from artists' work without their permission? And as long as that's the that's the foundation, stolen artwork is the foundation of these programs, everything else is moot to me. There's really nothing to argue about. It's like these programs, they fed people's work without their permission. They scrubbed DeviantArt. I mean, and that's the funny thing is that DeviantArt did that whole hoopla with doing it their own AI, and then it's like we're all shocked. When how dare they be gambling on my premises? When they found out that Stable Diffusion was scraping the DeviantArt galleries without DeviantArt's permission. So that shit was happening. So it's like, as long as that's the basis, there's nothing to talk about AI. I mean, it's like, they had millions of pieces of work in copyright free that they could have used to build this machine, to build these apps. But that's not what they wanted. They wanted contemporary artists that they could steal from right now. And because of that, I think that they destroyed what would have been an excellent tool for artists, and
they knew that the potential was there. I mean, look how quick they come up with the software to destroy the algorithm.
No, they didn't come up with it. It was there already.
Well, yeah, it was a kill switch.
Because they have a kill switch for this stuff. That that until they decide that they're either going to go to every artist that they stole from and license compensate them for it, or they scrub the entire thing clean and start over again, the conversation's moot. So
we're going to talk about a dickless society.
Right. So instead we're going to talk about dicks instead. Yes, exactly. Exactly. I thought it might be a better conversation for a starter for House of Bob than AI. But that's kind of, I decided in the end I'm actually kind of bored of the AI conversation because in the end it's like, because most people are arguing this from the standpoint of, well, why would I take the stairs when the elevator is right there? Right. Well, here's the thing. I'm not talking about either the stairs or the elevator. Although what I am talking about is like, how come the elevator was built to crush puppies every time it gets used? Why was an elevator built like that? It's like, that's, could they build an elevator without crushing puppies? That's what we're, it's like, we know they can do it.
This is not a funny reference.
No, it is not, but the thing is, though, it's like, instead of like, can they build an AI without crushing, thousands and thousands of artists' careers in one shot? I mean, it's like, yeah, there's right, because a lot of the arguments with AI is like, oh, art shouldn't be copyrighted anyway. And it's like, it's always funny how, how it's like
Yeah,
these
it
arguments
was.
are always targeted towards individual artists and not the corporations that are abusing the copyright system.
Right.
I mean, you know what? That's always, but you know what? That's the internet for you. That's the internet for you. That it's like any kind of discourse, and everyone will focus on the most vulnerable members of
The
that
little
discourse
man, because the little man's easy to
to be the symbol of that discourse. It's kind of like when they were talking about they were talking about real estate, and it's like, look, in New York, it's like you can almost count on one hand the companies that own like 80% of the real estate in New York. But if you had read the discourse about rental properties and whatnot, you would think it was the old lady with an extra house that was the problem. It's like not the near conglomerates, not the conglomerates that owns all this property. Oh no, it's the widow who has an extra house that she's renting out. She's the problem of real estate being so expensive. So I think this is the same thing with the AI discourse, that it's like, instead of focusing on the companies that are doing this and the absolute reprobates that are running these companies, like, oh no, the artists are gatekeeping.
Yeah, right. Thank you.
Artists are gatekeeping. It's like, no, we ain't gatekeeping shit. And it's like the only thing that people are complaining about when they say art is being gatekept is the fame and accolades that they think is being constantly showered on us. That's what they want. It's like, last I checked, I don't have a Lamborghini in my backyard, so I don't know what the fuck they're talking about. But I didn't mean to get into, I think, but that's why we're not going to be talking about AI. But in the end, though, I do stand by my idea that AI is inherently fascist. But we'll talk about that another time. Oh my goodness! But yeah. So I guess going back to my initial, is that if you want to do comics and you want to do crowdfunding, right? I think that a lot of us really do have to decide. It's like, okay, why are we doing this? And it's like, if things like TNA books succeeding the way they do for obvious reasons is going to bother you,
to the point you'd rather not use an entire platform that's set up to help you gain.
But then not only that you feel like, oh, I want to do this book, but it doesn't sell. This was also something that came up on Facebook, that someone was saying that they had this book, that they wanted to do, but they couldn't find a market for it, so that they were wondering whether they should just move on to something else. And the thing is, though, it's like, well, if it's a story you want to do it. But it's like, right. But if all you're concerned about is making money off of that, project, then either find something else to make that money while you're doing your project that you actually want to do, or you're just going to have to like really grind and find the audience for that. That's the thing. I mean, it's like, if the story is important for you that you have to tell it, then tell it. But to say that it's like, oh, well, it can't compete against TNA books. It's like, look, you know what? It's like, are you doing a TNA book? Right. Then it's like, if like I said, I don't know. I just don't understand it. It's like, I really do think that it's like, if you have a story to tell it, but also be aware of the consequences of that. And sometimes the consequences are that you don't have an audience that can sustain it. Right. I mean, and you have to decide whether that's something that you're willing to kind of work with. Yeah, maybe you do have to have like a day job to make money while you're building your audience on this book that you want to that you really want to do. I mean, that's, yeah. So it was just, yeah. So in the end, that was like the whole point of why I did the Friday's episode, because people, I think that a lot of people are using TNA books as kind of an excuse as to why they're not doing their books how they want to do them. And it's like, no, I don't know. I just think it's a very, yeah, I don't know. It's just very strange. That's like, I don't know. It's like, look, like I said, it's like if I made 3,000 on this last campaign, Eagle Raven issue 6 is still coming out. I mean, yeah. I mean, really, I think I agree. It's like one has nothing to do with the other. I'm not going to compare, Eagle Raven to Lady Death. I mean, that's absolutely insane. That's ridiculous. I'm not going to compare Oswald to Zombie Tramp. I mean,
right.
Just don't. Now, are there certain things that those campaigns are doing that I've been trying on my campaign? Sure. It's like, okay. It's like, it doesn't kill me to have a TNA cover, variant cover on my campaign.
In fact, they do remarkably well.
Oh, exactly. Especially the ones with werewolves. But the thing is, that's not the end all. It was just like, okay, they do this, I do that, I make a little bit more money, on these variant covers. I drew them, so I'm not losing anything. So, so yeah, it's like, but to say that your book can't exist because a TNA book exists is ridiculous. Because like I said, the top 200 books, most of them were collected strips from like web comics and whatnot that the audience was there for decades practically. So it's like, so what really makes you successful on Kickstarter is having an audience that's willing to help you there. That's what I learned from doing those numbers. That TNA books make money? Sure. Yeah, you can make money selling heroin too. I mean, like I said there, I mean, what one has nothing to do with the other, so yeah, it was just, I don't know. It was just a very strange conversation. I mean, it's like, yeah, do we want to make more money? Do we want to get past the ceiling? Oh, and this is a thing too that maybe later on we'll talk a little bit more, because I have to watch the episode. There was also another post, right? Yeah, that's a thing too. Yeah, well, yeah, of course. And no, it's like, look, honestly, it's like, look.
No, that gets really weird. We've seen a book that was like a young adult.
Right.
Comic, and then they did a not safe for work variant cover, and even though the character wasn't a minor, it was really fucking creepy because
it really
book
was.
had been marketed to kids.
Right, exactly. Now, mind you, not that kids are going to be on Kickstarter choosing books, sure, but it was kind of weird. It was, yeah. It's like it was just like context. There needs to be context. I mean, just I mean. But I guess that kind of proves my point. Just because something makes money doesn't mean it's appropriate for you to, like attach that to your book. So yeah, that's yeah. So that was kind of like I said, it was kind of a weird conversation because, yeah, it just really was. Hold on, I was thinking as well. She, yeah, it's like let's see, what do we got here? Yeah, it's like, Rich had said, have a day gig while you pour your passion into a passion project. Yeah, exactly. So yeah, I mean, what was it? What was they say? Oh yeah, that they were asking in the group that they were in, like, how do you know when your book peaked? If your book has peaked, because that's also something that we also have to take into consideration too. It's like if we hit a ceiling on Kickstarter, it's like, is that a real ceiling, or is
Just
that
another barrier you need to break through?
right? Exactly.
To that
Because
next
it's
level.
like, yeah, because that kind of is I know that's also something that people
you
really
don't know
question
you've
about.
peaked until you're on your way down. Your book's peaked if her eyes are rolled back in her head. Okay.
Right. Well, oh my goodness. It's just yeah, I mean, honestly, I think that might be a scarier thought than like to think that that it's like, oh, this is as good as you're going to get on a crowdfunder platform,
Right.
and that like no matter what you do, it's never going to move, which is something maybe. I mean, I don't know. It's like, how would you kind of like move forward from that? It's like, like for me, I know that it's possible that I could reach 5 figures. Right. Yeah, no, I agree, Alison. I mean, there are just some projects that it just doesn't
How?
fit. Yeah, peak versus plateau. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. That it's like, yeah, so yeah, it's like
Your
which
IP is pushing you away.
you know, oh my goodness. I mean, can you tell I wasn't prepared today? I wasn't prepared. I didn't have any topic. But it's like I don't know. It's like is which is worse, making less money on Kickstarter or realizing that maybe you've hit the top of where you can go on Kickstarter? And I mean, golly, it's like,
And but see, that doesn't make any sense because unless you've got how many 100,000 fucking people are on Kickstarter backing you?
right.
Have you really peaked? Have you really you
Right.
don't?
Yeah, because I know, because sometimes it just feels like we hit that wall, and then it's like it's like, okay, where do I go from here?
But there's been so many times that you hit the wall and you think there's nothing further, but then the next thing you know, you're on the other side going up again.
right.
So it's like, just don't give up.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's like I guess it's like if your book is something, if your story is something that you want to tell, I guess you're going to push forward anyway. But the thing is, though, is like we talk about all the stuff about marketing and whatnot, and oh, really? It's like, let's say, realizing you hit top, because when you're slapped in the face with that perceived reality, that's when the depression sets in. Yeah, I would think so. Yeah, and that's why. Yeah, and you see, and that's the thing too. It's like we can say that it's like, oh, it doesn't matter, and I guess on a certain level I agree with JD when he says, yeah, it does. It's like everybody wants to make more money on Kickstarter, because in the end, it's the money that kind of shows us that we're going in the right direction, I guess.
And fuels the project to keep going.
Right. Yeah, true. What was that last comment? That you brought up?
I'm going to disagree with that, because every time I look on there, I feel like I'm seeing somebody new still.
Really? Okay. Because I mean, what makes you think that there's you're not seeing new people? Which is kind of an interesting.
Like, I just discovered this chick and I really like her and I can't wait to tell you about her. We'll talk about her in a little bit.
Oh, okay, sure.
Just found her and I'm like, where the hell have you been?
Right, yeah. Yeah, you see, that's the thing too, because it's like we're finding so many new people, like we've never heard of before. And it's like, but and then they have like, like Visenia, right? She just popped into our chat one day and it's like she's working on issue 10 right now for comics. Like, where have you been? Why are we only hearing about you now? So, it was just, yeah. So what gives you, what makes you think that you're not seeing more new people on there? I mean, granted, if you do have, it's very easy if you have like multiple issues. Right. Let's see. Oh, that's another good question too. I mean, yeah, it's like, does peaking mean that
this is comics? We have no time for self-reflection, Patrick.
No, we always, I honestly, I think we're kind of like the most self-reflective group that there is. I mean, it's like, it's beyond navel gazing. We're like navel spelunking. Ew.
Ew. Gross.
I mean, it's like, it's like that. Yeah. If you feel like you've peaked, I mean, it's like, what do you do at that point? That it's like that no matter how many campaigns, it always seems to stop at a certain point.
Right.
But at the same time too, it's like you have to consider, like the phrase, what's the definition of insanity? Doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a completely different result. Which I think is where all these new crowdfunding platforms are coming in. It's like we spoke to, we talked about, Crowdfunder before. We know that BackerKit is about to launch. I think they're about to open their membership this year, I guess. I know they're just still beta testing, but I've been hearing a lot of interesting things about BackerKit.
So if anybody's got a campaign coming up that you're going to run on BackerKit, please contact me because I'd like to follow you from go.
Right, yeah, so that we could kind of like, study
I like to get a feel for the platform.
Yeah, because what I've been hearing about BackerKit especially, which is the thing that most people are excited about, is having a new audience. Like
that's already familiar with Kickstarters.
Right, and it's like, because BackerKit was one of these platforms where they were pretty much on every crowdfunder platform. Right. So they have the data from all these other platforms and they're using it to make their own crowdfunder platform. And it's like, and what I've been hearing on this last one was that they've gotten like more new people than they've ever seen on Kickstarter.
Yep.
And it's like, that's the part that kind of excites me more is it's like, we want more eyeballs on our stuff. That's kind of like the whole point of why we do this. Like it's kind of, it's why that our portfolios have become this very visual medium with adding YouTube to the mix. Where people see us and associate us with our books and creates that association. And then when they see you on another platform or they see you someplace else, they go, oh, I know that book. I know those people that I watch them on the TV. Right. And, so having a larger audience is, I think that's what we really want, which it ultimately leads to more money. All right, that's the hope. But it's like, so chat, tell me, it's like, so when shit comes to Shinola, is it really about the money? It's like, is it, is it, like, is that what you're really gauging? Interest on the money, or are you just doing your book because you want to do it and money is something you can figure out later? The
answer is yes.
The answer is yes. That money. That yes, it's about the money.
It's just yes all around.
It's just yes all around.
It's yes all around.
Right. So,
you want to make the fucking money though, but like,
because we've seen the people
but
who
still have a story to tell. So
because I mean, we've seen what I like to call checklist comics.
Right.
Where,
for sure.
Like, where that they went through a checklist of what they felt would make money, like would just make the quickest amount of money on Kickstarter. Backer total. Yeah, that's what I
as long as the eyes on the project are growing.
Yeah, that's what I looked at on my last campaign. Once I realized that I wasn't going to make the 5 figures that I thought based on the trade paperback. I guess it was just talking to everybody here. Vanity projects are expensive. Yeah, that's true. That's true, because it's like, it's like, right, because it's like I definitely consider my own work vanity projects, but that's just what I'm doing. That's just it. I mean, and I have to accept that consequence, that it's like, if I'm going to be doing a book that's this personal, or it's like it's very niche, that I have to accept the fact that the audience is going to match that. That it's like, that I was watching the backer count once I realized that I wasn't going to reach 5 figures. And I just started watching the backer count instead, because it's like, can I at least get the same people to come back to issue 5? And, I didn't cross-reference anybody, so I don't know for sure if it's all the same people or not, but the number is the same.
Right.
So at least I still have the same amount of backers that I had from the previous book. So that made me feel a lot better. And especially, like I said, that I've spoken about before, where it's obvious that most of the people who are who followed the issue 5 campaign, they were regulars coming back. And not only that, it's like the fact that more PDFs were being sold, which means that people do want to support the book, but just don't want a physical copy, which is fine too. So watching different numbers, I guess that means more to me right now. I figure, like I said, I figure that more people that they're waiting for the trade paperback. So I'm going to save that thought process of, it's like, oh, can we finally reach 5 figures? It's like, I'm going to save that for the trade paperback, and just kind of like try to experiment more with my individual issues. I mean, the first one's always the hardest.
Yeah.
That's the thing. I mean, it's like, you really have to go into Kickstarter with a very realistic idea of how you think you're going to do on a first issue, and then build your audience from there. Because we've seen way too many people that, like, they've never been on Kickstarter before.
Jump in there. Here's my goal, $6,500.
Right. And it's like,
I've got no art ready. And here's a paragraph about what may or may not happen. But I have a graph, so.
Right. Yeah. You have the pie chart. Yeah.
Pie chart graph. It's all the same.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
But I think that once you figure out, like, once you get a taste of what Kickstarter can do for you, or any crowdfund platform, really, what they can do for you, then you start adjusting accordingly. Because in the end, it's like, you have to do the first one in order to understand what it takes, what's necessary. It's like, okay, it's, and then it's like, you just build from there. Man, I had a thought and I kind of lost it. Also, so many folks don't reach out to their vendors to find out how much they really need to put their product out. I think that's true. I think the thing that really messes people up is shipping.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, I think I think that's the thing. Not as much as vendors. Although I have seen people really, really screw up
the calculation on international shipping.
Right. Yeah. But I've seen more campaigns drown under shipping than anything else. There have been some people they've had to change vendors at the last minute, and it was just like a nightmare, because of course it completely screwed up their budget. So that. Okay, all right. So shipping, that's true. But I see.
And it should.
Yeah. Because even now, it's like, sometimes I still feel like I'm guessing on shipping still, even though I have all these calculators or whatnot, because depending on what zip code it's going to, the price can change slightly. And especially for international, if you go like over an ounce, that could, it's like, I joke that it's like you go over an ounce and all of a sudden there's $10 extra for shipping right there. It's like, it's like, I mean, it's like, it's funny, Nita. It's like, obviously we were supposed to have a guest today, so I didn't really prepare myself.
No, it's all good. I think we did great.
So I hope everything was okay on their part. We'll just.
I'm hoping it's just time zone confusion or something.
Yeah, that's happened before. Yeah, it's like, no, but I wouldn't, I understand the fear of doing a crowdfunder. Yeah, you really have to get that first one out of your system. That's really what it is. I mean, honestly, if it wasn't for Kickstarter, I don't think. Thank you, Patrick. If it wasn't for Kickstarter, I don't think I would have gotten as far as I have on Eagle Raven, because Kickstarter kind of gave me that fire under my ass to get something done. You know, where before
Right.
it'd be like we had to get books done for San Diego Comic-Con, you know, and we would always work towards that goal. But then when we stopped going to San Diego, we kind of lost our way there. And it's like, and Kickstarter kind of brought that back, where it's like, oh, I could actually raise money to produce these issues the way I want. And yeah, so now that's where my focus goes. That's where it's like, okay, I have a schedule for my books because I want to do X amount of Kickstarters in 2023. So it's kind of made me rethink, you know, like how I do my books. So maybe Kickstarter would do the same thing for you. That's like, once you get that first one out of your system, and you can do a small, you know, like a small campaign. Kickstarter, every January, they do a thing called Make 100. They only do this for the right. They only do this for well, right now I have like a cold compress under my ass, so there's no fire there, you know. So you know, oh, I just wish this you know, this feeling would go away, and you know, just you know, it's just horrible. Where they do Kickstarter is a thing called Make 100. They only do this for the month of January. And what it is that this is literally for people who want to like try out Kickstarter, but on a much smaller scale. So say you have 100 of something. Now, it doesn't have to be 100. You can have 50 of something or 10 of something, or it has to be, you have to kind of like your 100 backers is how they look at it.
Right.
So once you reach 100 backers, your campaign is done. So that's what they mean by that, or at least that's the way I understand it. And I have, you know, so you put like a small campaign in January, and you're only going to sell like 100 copies of something. Like, you know, say your issue 1, you're only going to make 100. Don't make 100 in advance. Just you know, and then it's like what they do is that they do a special promotion in January for these campaigns to Make 100. I guess that they send out special newsletters, and like the Kickstarter puts like a push behind those projects.
Right.
And then that's pretty much it. So you have to run it between January 1st and January 31st. And yeah, and it has to be like, once you reach 100 backers, that's it. That's the end of your campaign. You don't necessarily have to reach 100 backers. I've seen smaller campaigns where they only had 40 backers. But you know, that might be something for you to try, maybe for next year, or you know, depending on how quickly you can get you know, I wouldn't rush it. So maybe that might be something for you to try out next year. If you wanted to try something small, but technically you can do that any time either. I mean, like Tim Vigil, he did a campaign for Faust, the collected Faust, where they only had 777 copies. That's it.
And they're gone.
They're all gone. But the thing is, though, he was running a 60-day campaign for it or something like that, and they still
didn't even make it a month.
Yeah. It's like they still have like 30-something days to go, but the books are gone. They're all sold out. So he has to sit there and wait for this campaign to finish. You know, so you know, it was just really funny to see. But technically, that's what he did. He only made a limited amount. This is the campaign, and then once they sell out, they're done. Technically, the campaign is over. He just can't close it out without it ending when on the deadline. But you know, but don't worry, Alison. If you if you decide you want to pull the trigger on that house destroying laser,
We'll gladly help you as much
yes,
as we
we
can.
will be more than happy to help you with it. So that it won't be as a terrifying experience. Because
we'll hold your hand.
Yeah, well, yeah, it's like, because it can be
terrifying.
Yeah, exactly. But like I said, once you get it out of your system, look, it's like running a marathon. Everyone says that they hate it until they cross the finish line, and then it's like, okay, when's the next one? So, Kickstarter is kind of the same thing. It's like you're going to do your first one, and then you're going to go, okay, when can we do this again? But my brain is empty, Nita.
All right, well, let's get out of here. We can go early.
Yeah, we got 5 minutes, and it's like, like I said,
it'll take us 5 minutes to say goodbye.
Yeah, take us 5 minutes. It's like I keep
it's time
this I keep adjusting this footrest underneath it, and it's just like I keep moving it, and it's just like I just can't get comfortable anymore. So yeah, it's probably best for us to go right now. So thank you, everybody, for this excruciatingly rambly hour with us today. I hope you at least got something out of it. Like I said, we were supposed to have a guest on, and I guess we just had to ad-lib the rest of it. So, but that's okay. Depending on how I'm feeling, I may or may not do a live stream on Wednesday. Like I said, every chair is bothering me right now. So, it's like, I don't know. We'll see. So, I may or may not have a show on
Thank you.
Wednesday. On Wednesday from 4 p.m. to 6 Eastern. Thank you so much. Somebody has to, I guess. And anything else on the schedule coming up? Well,
a whole bunch of stuff changing. I don't even have it together myself yet, right. But yeah, got a new lineup for New Year. There will be no Sketchy Saturday this coming weekend. Let's see, we've got one vlog coming up and House of Bob. I'm pretty sure Alison streaming Friday,
right?
But for the most part, everybody's on hiatus until after the first of the year, right. And we'll have a whole new lineup then. So on 2 channels.
Yes, on 2 channels now. We get to try out the After Dark channel, which I'm very excited about. I don't know. It's like I'm very excited that we're going to have a dedicated channel.
I've gone ahead and put the vlogs over there too, just because we do, the marketing aspect of it sometimes. Yeah. And there are a couple of times where it's like, wow, we probably should age restrict that, and we can have it there. So.
Right now, we don't have to worry about Chad and his questionable content, his questionable comic decisions. Oh, very nice, Alison. Yes. So thank you, everybody, joining us in the comments, in the chat today. Thank you so much for helping me keep this hour going. Thank you to the 9 people who have been watching us, from regions beyond. I know you have your reasons for not coming over to YouTube, but that's okay. It's like probably you were just working. You were working and. Just listening along, that's fine. And it's like, oh, look, my little jelly thing melted. So it's not cold anymore. I have to put it back in the freezer. So, like I said, thank you so much. And Nita, you have any final words?
Nope, today? I'm good.
Yeah, me too. Well, I wish I was better, but we're going to be working on that. So if you want to see more of my artwork, or you want to just find out more about my art, my projects, or whatnot, you're going to head on over to my main portfolio site at egoworks.com, EGOWORKS, where you can find links to all of my galleries and social media sites, but I mostly post to Facebook if you're into seeing sketches and kind of like real-time updates. on whatever's coming up. And also don't forget that you can check out my videos on YouTube at my channel at Daphne Lage, Lage Art, which also simulcasts through the Region 2 network as well. And because we are so close, last reminder, you can read the first 5 issues of Eagle Raven, Heir of the First Unicorn in its original black and white format until January 1st, where the entire archive resets to the full color final Kickstarter edition that you will be able to read online for free. So if you're the type that likes to compare old and new, it's like to see what differences there are there, you have until January 1st to be able to do that. But if you prefer your comics to be more of a fantasy furry Lord of the Rings adventure, you can follow the link over to Tall Tales, TAILSonline.com, and reach the first 20 issues of Tall Tales for free. So that's it for us. Thank you so much for putting up with us for this very, very rambly hour. We hope you got something out of it. And in the words of the ancients, eat your food, moisturize, mind your business, and do the work, because when you actually do the work, you never have to fake any of your accomplishments. And I got to get off of this footstool here because
because the edibles are kicking in.
Right.
Bye, guys.
Bye.